This is my dad's stick welder. It's a Miller Thunderbolt AC/DC transformer power source. He bought it early in 1998 to build a fence around the swimming pool he had just recently put in at my parents' house. That fall, my older brother used this welder to build a fence for a widow in the neighborhood as his Eagle project. I was 13 at the time, and my dad taught me how to weld using this machine. Together, he and I built another fence at the house and a couple other odds and ends. It's been kicking around the garage and farm and is a little beat up, so I'm giving it a new look. It's amazing how simple the inside of this machine is. Just a couple of transformers, a DC rectifier, which converts the alternating current into direct current using a set of diodes, and a cooling fan. It may be simple technology, but it's also very heavy. I guess that's why they put it on wheels. I had some stainless steel laying around, so I had a local fabrication shop bend it up to match the original cover. The original cover was a 1/16 of an inch thick, and the new cover is an 1/8 inch thick. The stainless steel had some scratches in it, so I decided to give it a brushed metal look with a belt sander. I'm using this aluminum angle as a fence so that the brush marks are all going the same way. I went over the whole thing first with a 36 grit belt, and then gave it a second pass with a 50 grit belt. The original cover was vented to prevent the welder from overheating, but my new stainless steel cover isn't. Fortunately, there are vents on the face and rear of the welder itself, so I needed to come up with a way to make sure it stays cool. So I'm drilling holes to draw fresh air through the vents on the welder and then out through a fan that I'll mount on the back. This little tool is called an automatic center punch. I swear, just when you need your drill bit to stay exactly where you put it is when it wants to walk all over the place. This tool puts a little dimple in the workpiece so that your drill bit stays right where you want it. I drilled all the holes with a 1/16 inch bit and then worked up to a 1/4 inch bit because it just makes the drilling go a little nicer. Here you can see how I slid the drill bit mostly inside the chuck. That was so it wouldn't snap and break off as easily. My neighbor made these stencils for me. The time from spraying the final coat to peeling the stencil was about 10 minutes. The original power cord that came with the welder had 3 conductors, or wires. 2 120-volt wires and 1 grounding wire, but no neutral wires. But since I'm adding the fan that runs on 120 AC, I had to add a neutral line for the fan. That's why you see 4 conductors here. I wired the fan to the switch and then soldered the connections. Originally, the switch and faceplate were held on with aluminum rivets, but I'm replacing them with stainless steel screws. Now, like an amateur, I wired the fan onto the supply side of the switch and not the load side of the switch. So the fan came on as soon as I plugged the welder into the wall, but before the welder was even switched on. So I changed it, and now the fan only comes on once the welder's been switched on. The cover was just a hair tight, so I had to persuade it down with some pipe clamps. I needed to add just one more screw on the bottom of each side, and it was done.
This was a great project and I had a lot of fun working on it. I have no doubt this welder will be around for a long time, used by me, my sons, and maybe someday even find its way into one of their shops or garages.